This week on Music Worth Buying, we're going to be checking out Cross-Eyed Heart, the new album by Keith Richards.
And Cass County from Don Henley.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Music Worth Buying. My name is TJR. I'm a musician and music writer.
And my name is Robert Kinsler, and I'm a music writer and a musician.
Yes, and so we've got some more albums that we're both excited about that we're going to share with each other and share with you. And so I'm going to start off today with Cross-Eyed Heart. This is the third album by Rolling Stones guitarist, as if you didn't know, Keith Richards. And this is his first solo album in quite a while.
Yeah, I don't even remember the last one. Yeah.
You know, 1988 was his first solo album, Talk Is Cheap. I loved that album.
Yeah.
You know, when Talk Is Cheap came out, Mick Jagger had already released his first solo album, and Mick's solo album couldn't have been further from what the Rolling Stones were about. It felt like he was chasing trends, and Talk Is Cheap was a breath of fresh air. Especially in the 80s, it felt like it was coming. I mean, it didn't feel like it was coming from an artist who just didn't care, you know, what the trends were at the time. And now, unfortunately, I didn't like the second album, Main Offender. I didn't care for it, but I'm really happy to say that I'm thoroughly enjoying Cross-Eyed Heart. Cross-Eyed Heart. It feels to me like there's been like no time between the two. Really, it feels like this could have come out a year later, after Talk Is Cheap, and you know. Like, I mean, I guess it's because the music feels kind of timeless. I guess that's probably why. So we'll let you listen to a little bit of it here. And this song is called Blues in the Morning. Here we go.
Got the blues in the morning, I believe that's far too long. Got the blues in the morning, I believe it's ain't too long. It's a hardcore, baby, but I gotta sing the song.
You know, I absolutely love that. It's like as if you had Chuck Berry, Howlin' Wolf, and Muddy Waters in a room with Keith Richards on guitar, and that's what it would sound like. I mean, it's great. I love his voice. I love the fact that it's imperfectly perfect.
Yeah.
Which is one of those voices that they'd never get by in an American Idol era. But those are like Bob Dylan, like Neil Young. It's just awesome.
Imperfectly perfect is a great term. I love that term. I'm going to have to steal that from you.
Yeah, anytime.
Use it in the future. And you're right. Keith Richards and Mick Jagger, for that matter, would never survive the American Idol audience. Never.
No, yeah.
You know, it's just no. It would never work.
This is so authentic. I mean, it just is. It's just like it's so unpretentious. It's just it is. You know.
And also on that album, you were mentioning, you know, of course, Howlin' Wolf, Muddy Waters are not on this album, of course.
Yeah.
But on this album is Bobby Keys, one of his final recorded performances. He died in 2014 while they were working on the album.
Right, and they were very good friends. I know,
very good friends. And of course, he's been a long-time Rolling Stones sideman as well on saxophone.
Exactly. Oh yeah.
One of his final performances. There are a lot of good people on this album. Now, the album kind of came about. Keith Richards was hoping to get the expensive winos back in the studio, but they're such great players. They're always in such demand. He was saying, you know, they're always playing with someone else. And so he just started recording tracks, rhythm tracks without a band, and slowly musicians came in and out playing on it. And as it turned out, he pretty much said all of the expensive wino alumni are on this album in one way or another, somewhere on a song, somewhere on a track. They're just not there together in the same room playing all at the same time, that's all. But they are, at some point, they're all in there. Quite a couple other great artists are in there too, and among them, of course, Norah Jones here.
Oh wow! Okay.
Who, you know, once again,
and I actually saw Norah and Keith Richards at a Graham Parsons tribute, and it was so you could see the chemistry then on live. This was many years ago, but you can see, even though they're separated by generations and stuff, and kind of some of the common influences that they have, and you could see that they would. You know, that's great that she's on there too. Yeah.
And she is. And in fact, they're on a song doing a duet, of course, obviously, a song that she helped co-write. And I should mention Keith Richards on this album. There's a couple covers. I think there's only two. All the rest he's either written or he is co-written with the album's producer, musician Steve Jordan. On that particular song with Norah Jones, it's all three of them writing on that one. And yeah, they weave together perfectly. And Norah Jones, completely different vocal style. She's got more what we would say, well, she's a very authentic blues singer. she's got more of what we would say is that more, how do we say it, just that more voice that we considered, I guess, that American Idol listeners
more
would find
polished,
more
perhaps,
polished,
or more commercial for our
polished
times.
is
Yeah,
probably
polished,
more the term for it.
Yeah.
But not that there's anything that doesn't make her not authentic by any stretch of the imagination. She's one of our great female vocalists of the age.
Oh yeah,
right
definitely.
now, of this current modern time that we're in.
Right.
But yeah, she's on the album too. And packaging wise, this album comes in a standard jewel case. There is the back cover right there. And it does come with a booklet, and I will pull this out for you to investigate here. Here we go. And the booklet features all the lyrics. It features a little essay at the beginning about the making of the album, which is great to read. And lots of photos of the players who were on it during the recording sessions. And then, of course, all the lyrics. The lyrics are very easy to read.
We always like it.
We
Lyrics
always like
are easy
that.
to read.
Yep. And lots of other, and then, of course, then the usual liner notes as to who did when, what, and where. And, good solid package. And so let's check out another track here. This is one of these great, just sad, slow burners here. Well, let's check this out. Here we go.
The cops, you know, I can't involve them. They'd only interfere. So I hit the usual suspects, but I drew a blank round there. I'm robbed blind.
And that track is called Rob Blind, and from the latest Keith Richards album, Cross-Eyed Heart. And we were having a conversation about the song as we listened to it.
Yeah,
we were wondering what the song was about.
I had to tear open and look at the lyric sheet, and it's like I wasn't really sure what he's... It sounds like it could be a real story, but I wasn't sure. But it's just... It's funny, his delivery, the music and everything, you just want to listen and say, what's he saying there? It's great. I think great music makes you want to listen to it on many levels, and it definitely this did on a single listen. I have to get my my hands on this album quick, but I definitely want to hear it. It's great.
Yeah, when you asked me what's it about, I said, well, it's about love, and it's like, and I think you were kind of like, are you sure? And you're like, so, well, I think I'm sure. Look at the lyrics here. You started looking at the lyrics. I said, well, I guess it could be about money. Could be. I mean, I don't know. You could take it on different levels depending on how you look at it. So,
I guess we probably need to find if there's an interview where he talks about some of the songs or something.
Guess so. If he even will, who knows? You know how Keith is. He's. He's definitely his own force.
That's right. In the universe.
So, okay.
And on that song, it's like it's almost like the voice. It could be Leonard Cohen, or it could be Chris Christopherson, the way he sounds now. But it's Keith. It's just great. It kind of has a loose feel to it, but it's very musical and very beautiful. I mean, just great stuff.
Cool. So what do you got for us?
Well, speaking about legends that are back with albums after an extended time, I've brought in Don Henley's Cass County. Now, this is Don Henley's first album in 15 years since he released Inside Job, which came out back in 2000. I mean, it's been a long time. He's obviously been very, very busy with the Eagles over that time span. It's not like he's been dormant.
Yeah.
But this is also a departure. That this is a bona fide country music album. I mean, there's no doubt. Some of the people on the album, speaking of Keith Richards, Mick Jagger's on one of the songs, Miranda Lambert, Dolly Parton, Vince Gill, Martina McBride. I mean, it's like a who's who of people in Nashville show up on this album. It's incredible. What I have here is a deluxe edition, so there's 16 great songs to choose from, 12 of which are original Don Henley compositions that he's written with Stan Lynch. So why don't we listen to a little bit of one of the songs, and it features it's a duet with another name that I didn't mention, who will obviously everybody that's a country music fan is going to want to hear this song. So let's listen to a little bit of it.
Check it out.
All about their aches and pains. Me, I take the hand I'm dealt, and I play it as it lays. It's the cost of living, and everyone pays.
Now, this is one of those times where I've heard this album, haven't lived with it as much as you've lived with it, but I have listened to it. I'll admit, I heard it a couple times, was probably not as 100% on board, like I got to bring this on the show, maybe as you are, but there is no denying that there are some tracks on this album that, if they can get on the radio 10 years from now, they will be classics.
Yeah.
And if they'd come out back in the 70s, and it's not that, you know, Eagles back in the 70s and what we consider country music, they're not that far apart from each other.
No, they're really not. I mean, the Eagles pretty much set the blueprint for kind of like a lot of the, you know, not the bro country, but I mean, as
country
far as
rock.
Yeah, the country rock stuff that was especially big, you know, like Tim McGraw or something like that, or Jason Aldean. Any of that, they set kind of the chart.
Yeah,
you know?
and I think that if Don Henley, we don't want to ever imply that the Eagles or Don Henley had anything to do with influencing bro country.
Yeah.
Because if they did, they'd probably come over here and slap us.
That's right, exactly.
And we deserve it, too.
Yeah, we would deserve it, yeah.
Yeah, because we certainly don't want to imply that by any stretch of the imagination.
No, exactly.
But
in other words, like when I saw the Eagles at the Stagecoach Country Music Festival, they went over huge. I mean, the country music fans love the Eagles.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, they when a lot of times when you're waiting for the headliners to play there or something, they're playing the Eagles.
Yeah,
you know, I mean,
there's not that big a difference between a song like this now and the present day, which we now call nowadays we call this a country song.
Right, we do.
And back in the 70s, a song like Lion Eyes, which we would have called a country rock song.
Right.
There's not that much difference between the two.
Exactly.
Really. But yeah, this song, had it come out in the 70s, and was on the radio and had enough radio airplay, it would be a classic, considered a classic now. Yeah. And there's no denying for me on this album, while I was not as 100% on board with it, there are some definite tracks there that are, in my opinion, bona fide classics.
Yeah, yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. And this one day, just to hear how great Merle Haggard sounds, and he is one of the true greats still around, performing at the top of his game. And they blend, their voices blend together. I don't know what we're going to get to play on the show, but they sound great apart. It's a great segue between the two singers. Yeah. And it's just a great song.
It is a great song.
Yeah, great song. Yeah. Now, and you know, like you were saying, this is not, although it harkens back to things we've heard with the Eagles, some of the songs here, and there isn't a sense of formula. I think it's kind of like the Keith Richards album. There's a real sense that he's doing something he wanted to do. I guess this started out where he was going to do a tribute album, and there are 4 songs on here that are covers.
I had read at first it was going to be a cover,
and then somehow he veered away from that, and then it became pretty much predominantly songs, like I said, that he's co-written, and it's, to me, a very successful album. Now, this is comes in a beautiful package too, by the way. I guess you'd say
trifold,
gatefold, just a beautiful, beautiful package. And then the booklet is just fantastic, you know. And what we like is all the lyrics, and maybe hard to see here, but they are pretty easy to read, all the lyrics, and then the liner notes and all that stuff, and just great, you know. And Cass County, by the way, the name of the album, that's the name of the county where he grew up in. It's a rural area of Texas where he grew up, and I think there is a lot of what happens on this album, I think, probably takes him back to his childhood, you know, in terms of the kind of music that he fell in love with and kind of helped give birth to the Eagles, I'm sure, as well.
And lyrically, it feels like it's coming from the, you know, the type of people that he knew living there, who still live there, people growing up with, and those kind of stories about the people who live in that type of area.
Yeah, it's a very mature album, like we said. This is.
Well, I hope so, because he's mature.
Yeah, he's in his late 60s now. So
we don't use the O word here.
No, we do not use that.
But we do say mature.
Yeah. But I mean, and I think he would be the first one to tell you that this is songs about life, and you know, but there's songs here, and we're not going to get to hear this one, but there's one where he says, and I'm, you know, just like praying for rain. I mean, there's just these. It's a very deep album with deep topics about living life, about, you know, falling in love and love lost, and kind of where you are. And I think people that listen to this with a good ear are gonna get that out, you know, get that out of this. Speaking of that, I thought what we do is, a lot of the album is contemplative, it's introspective, but I thought what we do is play the last song on the album, a little bit of that, Where I Am Now, and I think this one kind of celebrates life and kind of like, hey, you know, this is where he is in life, and he's really having a great time with that, and thankful for where he's at. And let's listen to a little of that song.
Absolutely, sure.
I've done some foolish things, and I've been downright stupid. Been a sucker for a pretty face, Lord, I was polluted. When people say, would you go back? I say no way, no how, because I like where I am now.
And that song makes me like where I am right now, to be totally honest. It's a great rocker. I mean, it is a country song. It's also a rocker. It's a southern rocker. It's, like I said, once again, not that far removed from what we would have heard the Eagles do in the 70s. Not that far removed. You can hear a little bit of the twinge, a little bit of that guitar twang, a little bit of what makes it modern country, but it's not that far removed from what we would have heard in the 70s.
It's really not.
Great little rocker. I think this song makes me think of why maybe I wasn't, and maybe I need to hear the album again. With some distance of time. Maybe why I wasn't quite as on board with it when I first heard it the first couple times is because it is such a contemplative, you know, album. I don't want to say downbeat in a derogative way, but it is a more slower album with a lot of slower songs.
The word I use is very introspective.
Introspective.
Yeah, he's
there
really
weren't
thinking
enough rockers to kind of offset those songs. There was just, I think this is probably the only one really.
Yeah, it's the most notable one.
Yeah. And I felt like maybe it just needed a few more upbeat numbers to kind of offset it a little bit. Maybe that was it. And maybe I need to give album a little more time. And maybe I will listen to it again. There's been some distance between the last time I heard it. See how it hits me again. But yeah, this is a really good song. And like I said, there's some definite classics on this album.
Yeah, and it's a return to form for Don Henley. I mean, like I said, he's been so busy with the Eagles reunion tours, and ever since the Hell Freezes Over tour, that I think he's gotten away from, you know, I mean, he was a hit maker on his own too. You know, he had some bona fide big hits apart from the Eagles, so it's nice to see him back. And you know, it sounds like this project was a labor of love, and the songwriting is really strong, and he sounds fantastic singing the songs
at this point in his life. It is because you know, like I said, he's not trying to go after the bro rock crowd. The bro country crowd. Excuse me. He's clearly not trying to go after them. He's clearly not trying to appease any current trends, just like Keith Richards isn't. So obviously, it is a labor of love. Yeah,
and both these albums, I think, to wrap things up, are very authentic. If you're a fan of Keith Richards / the Stones, or a fan of Don Henley / the Eagles, I think you're going to really get a lot out of these albums. And if you're, you know, and I don't think you're watching our show if you're someone that just totally lives in the past, so I know you're going to give these albums a try, and I think you'll be as pleasantly surprised as we are, too.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So we want to thank you very much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. If you haven't, please do so. We thank everybody that's been sharing the show on Facebook and Twitter and just everywhere else. We really do appreciate that. And whenever I see that notification, I'm like, thank you. Thank you very much. Really, thank you.
We do appreciate it.
Yeah. It's like being in a rock band back in the 80s, and you'd say, put this bumper sticker on your car, please. You know, back when that was the way you could, that was the form of social media. Yeah, back then.
Exactly.
Was your bumper stickers. But just thank you very much for that. And as always, if you want to check out my music, go to www.tjrmusic.com. Drop me an email. I'll put you on my email list, send you a link for some free MP3s. And otherwise, you can check out my solo reviews here at the channel. And where can we find you?
You can find me at ocregister.com, musicworthbuying.com right here, and obviously at desertstarweekly.com and musicnewsnashville.com.
Cool.
I'm all over.
Yeah. So, till next time, thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.
See you later, everybody.
Bye.